Good day, my friend. Good day and happy Sunday to you. This, the day of tribute, of praise, of the usual stuff that we pay tribute to. I welcome you, my dear friends. I want to remind you, please, I ask you, I say to you, it is so critical that you like this. We need your likes. Your likes are so critical. That is the life, the bread, the butter, it is the mainstay of our effort to get the word out, to bring people on board. I'm going to write a manifesto. Now, one of my concerns is to destroy anything that has a label. I was listening to a fellow the other day. I really like a lot of the National Review. Just like I like different kinds of flavors and spices and things like that. And there are some people who I think are very, very good, very, very interesting. And then I hear so many people who I think just do not seem to get it. And then there are people who are saying things just to sell something. There are people, let me just explain this to you. There are people who are trying to sell things. They sell a thing. For example, Charles C.W. Cook, never Trumper, one of the most pompous, arrogant gatekeepers of the conservative groups I've ever seen. You're entitled to say what you want. Absolute arrogance. But I go to see what he's saying. I do a little bit of, I want to say, let me hear that. Okay, it gives me an idea of what they're saying. The one who is trying her best to figure out, okay, where is she in this whole thing? It's Megyn Kelly. I listened to a minute. Okay. I listened to a little bit of Reason. Let's see what the libertarians are saying. Interesting. And first and foremost, they have to maintain the position of their cause. They can't veer from this. And Charlie Cook, whatever, has to be this arrogant, I'm a conservative. I know what conservatism is. You don't. You don't really understand this. I'm going to pick some arcane, candidate because I'm smarter than you. I'm smarter than you. I went to Oxford. I'm British. You don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. To an extent, there were these people who claimed to know what they were doing. William F. Buckley did this. William F. Buckley had this thing where he said, I speak on behalf of the... What? Yes, I speak on behalf of... I'm the paleoconservative. The paleoconservative, yes. Oh, I see. And who are you? I'm Bill Kristol. I'm the neoconservative. Oh, you're the neoconservative. Oh, okay. And you don't like Trump? No. Because Trump doesn't like you? No. And you don't like Pat Buchanan? You don't like him because they're against you? And Nick Gillespie, you're with the libertarians. Is that it? Oh, okay. You're the libertarians. I got you. And everybody is basically trying to maintain the integrity of their group, or trying to figure out, now, what am I doing? Where do I fit into this? I'm young. I'm in my 20s. I'm a blonde. I'm going to be the hot conservative. Trump, we'll see. I'll go rule of law. Do you see what's going on here? Do you see what's going on? Let me ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. And I want you to see if you can answer this question. And if you can answer this question, then you and I are on board. If whatever you feel regarding the Trump indictment, would you feel exactly the same way if it was involving Joe Biden? If Joe Biden was a former president, if Joe Biden had a place kind of like Mar-a-Lago, but his Wilmington estate, where he had boxes, where he did everything that Trump supposedly did, would you feel the same way? Would you feel the same way if it was Joe Biden? Or is your absolute defense of Donald Trump because it's Donald Trump? Because you love Donald Trump and whatever Donald Trump does is groovy. Can you say that? Can you say it? Are you saying that? Because I'm telling you right now, I want you to understand something. And this is the thing which means more to me than anything else. I do not have a party. I do not have a political party. I don't know what these parties are. I don't know what these parties mean. I don't care about these parties. All right, you love these parties. Everybody's got this and that. And there are these new folks who want to be the media darlings, and I find them so, oh my God. What do you stand for? Well, in order to promote my image as a media darling, I'm going to be MAGA, whatever it is, so I can get I'm not about a movement. I'm about me. You got that? I'm about me. I don't do that. I don't want any medals. But I would say the same thing if they did it to Joe Biden that they're doing to Donald Trump. The same thing. And I know, and I love you, and you're great, but I promise you, if this were Joe Biden, you'd be, ha, ha, ha. If this were Hillary Clinton, if Hillary Clinton were the former president, and she had her place in Chappaqua, and it was raided, and it was whatever it is, same facts, everything but Trump and Hillary, you would say serves her right. Why? Because I hate Hillary Clinton. Because I can't stand Hillary Clinton. Because my politics are based on hate. It's a personal thing. I'm kind of a Karen. I'm not saying you, but a lot of people are like that. They say, I don't really know. To me, it's personality. I love Trump. I love what he does. And I hate Hillary. I don't really know exactly what Trump did and what he was charged with. Doesn't really matter. He can do no harm. No. What they did to Trump was wrong. And if they did it to anybody, it would be wrong. It's that simple. It is that simple. I can't say it any clearer than what I've just said. If you do this to anybody, it's wrong. If you did this to anybody, do you understand what I'm saying? Please listen to me. If you don't believe this, if that's not your thing, then we have nothing really to. Then you're at the wrong place. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm a Constitution supporter. And the issue before us is dealing with the fact that Trump this is a hatchet job. He is being targeted. They're going after him because of the fact that he's Trump, whatever it is. And if they did it to anybody, it's wrong. And I don't care if it's Hillary Clinton. Equal justice under the law. But more importantly, this is the bottom line. And this is what nobody is talking about and nobody is addressing. There's something called discretion. The issue is not did Donald Trump break a law. That's not the issue. The issue is not did he break a law. He broke a law. Hillary broke a law. This one broke a law. Everybody broke a law. But they were the beneficiary of discretion. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Listen to what I'm saying. It's critical. It's critical that you understand this. It's critical that you grasp this and you understand it and you... It's about discretion. What they're doing to him, This is a political hatchet job. It is a political hatchet job. And there are people who say, oh, this is great. No, not because it's Trump. You don't have to be supporting Trump. You don't have to be. I had a friend of mine, very smart guy. I said, Trump, politically, by virtue of what's going on, he's through. However, what they're doing to him is wrong. He couldn't understand that. He couldn't do it. This was a very smart guy. Couldn't understand. He goes, wait a minute, what? Are you for Trump? No, I'm for the rule of law. Politically, he can't survive this. He cannot survive this. No, I'm not saying he should survive it, shouldn't. Under this system, the Republican Party is not going to let him do this. Now, if he wants to do it, and I might like to see this but it means 4 more years of this, he could go third party and completely destroy everything. He could basically counteract. What would be wonderful would be if Bobby Kennedy went third party, it's Ron DeSantis. You know that, right? If Bobby Kennedy went third party, I don't know if he could do that. But Nader did it. Who would be more likely to go with Bobby Kennedy? Democrats. If Bobby Kennedy did that, it's going to go. And then I would say move to it, not a different country, a different planet. They will come after you figuratively, whatever, than you can imagine. You follow me on that one? You want me to say that again? I'll say it again. Follow me on this one. Trump is not going to win. He's not going to be president. He's not going to be president. He is not going to be. That does not mean because I don't like them. The Yankees are not going to win the World Series. Okay. I don't know if that bothers anybody. I kind of follow this thing so weekly. It's not even funny. But I mean, I'm just curious about this. Look at this. The Devil Rays. I don't want to say my Devil Rays, but Tampa. It's not Tampa Bay. It's Tampa. This is incredible. They are number 1 in their division. It's funny. Orioles are 5.5 games behind. Okay. I mean, still doable, but whatever it is. Yankees are 8.5 games. They're not going to go to the World Series. The Red Sox are dead last, 14 games behind. They are not going to the World Series. Now, if I said that to somebody who understood baseball, and I said the Red Sox are not going, they would say, you're just saying that because you're in New York. No, I'm not. I love the Red Sox. My dad, I saw it. You're missing the point. I'm talking about the reality of this, not whether I like the Red Sox. It's not going to happen. It has nothing to do. A real sports fan would know that. Well, you don't know. You don't like them. You're not a sports fan. You don't understand how it works. And you can talk about all this all you want, and we can discuss this, and we can... And whether it's because the Republicans won't let him win, because the system's corrupt, because he's no good, I don't know. Whatever you want, he's not going to win. But this is a hatchet job. This is a hatchet job. And this is the most unconstitutional thing in the world. And I can't believe this is going on. And if it were Hillary Clinton or Hunter or Obama or anybody else, I'd say the same thing. See, that's the part this is where people get really upset. They get really mad. Let me give you an example. Hunter Biden left his laptop at that guy, the guy with the Tamish or the whatever. He left it at his store. And he, interestingly enough, he left it at his store. And then they published all of these pictures and things and all this stuff on his hard drive. Published them. Hunter, is suing under Delaware law for invasion of privacy and whatever it is. And I think he's 100% 100% correct. Now, when I sit down and I try to talk to people about this, do I like Hunter? Absolutely not. Hunter should be in prison. Hunter is a criminal. Hunter is a dupe who's using this drug addiction business as a cover, get in the way of justice. Absolutely, positively, he deserves being behind bars. Yeah, but you said no. You can't, just because you have access to something doesn't mean you can't publish it. If you leave a wallet, you're in my restaurant, you leave a wallet, I call you, hello, would you come and pick this up? Yeah. And okay, fine. And you don't pick it up, and then 30 days go by, 90 days go by. I keep the wallet, I keep the pros, I keep whatever it is. You've abandoned it. I waited under the law. Now, can I take pictures of your credit cards and post them? Oh, look at this. Here's a love letter from his wife. I'm going to post that. Oh, look, here's a driver's license picture. I'm going to post that. Well, you left the wallet. You left the wallet. Yeah, but you can't publish the contents. Well, you left the wallet. You're missing the point. Keeping the contents of the wallet is one thing. Keeping the laptop. But to post this, it's not the laptop is not what's important. It's on the hard drive. That's what you're doing. But because people hate Hunter Biden, they can't see that because they don't know how to follow the law. I do. If it was Barron Trump, if it was Chelsea Clinton, the same rule. You can't do this. But in our culture, if we don't like you, we will bend the rules. Just like people will say, do you know what? Who cares? I hate Trump. Whatever it is. Ha, ha, ha. That's the way they think. Ha, ha, ha. And here's the bottom line. They're doing this to a person who is the leading Republican candidate who poses a real threat to Joe Biden, And they're prosecuting him, and they want to imprison him. And I don't want to hear this crap about, well, you see, the espionage. Stop it. Stop it. You don't prosecute. This isn't murder. You and I know he posed no threat. Well, he was showing documents. Stop it. Stop it. You wouldn't do that to Joe Biden. You're not doing this to Joe Biden. And the difference is that you're charging a different section of the espionage statute, which deals with willful versus... I cannot explain this anymore. Stop it. You must show discretion. And Merrick Garland has no guts, no integrity, no cojones, nothing. Elliot Richardson would have said, I am not going to be a part of this. I'm going to tell you right now, you're indicting a man who has announced candidacy against Biden? No, we don't need to do this. You can charge him civilly. You can issue an injunction. You can fine him. You can public rebuke, make fun of him, whatever it is. You do not do that. Whether it's Joe Biden, whether it's Hunter, you just don't do this. That's the issue. And I'm so tired of these legal experts who go on TV and they talk about the same thing over and over. Mark Levin screaming and yelling, this is under Woodrow Wilson. Are you kidding me? Seriously. Because you know what happens. As soon as they're done screaming, they call their agent. How'd I do? Great. How are the numbers? Your last video, off the charts. Great. Good. Thanks. By the way, did you put this on my reel yet? Did you talk to him yet? Any chance of hiring me? I don't know. We got back. Any chance of me getting on Fox? I really did a great job. Did you like that? Good. What about CNN? Well, not CNN. Okay, let me know. Good. This is a big, let's see who can go on TV and who can make them, who can stand out. Let's put two people together and let's see if you can make a bigger jadrul out of yourself than this guy. Over what? It's a very simple thing. It's discretion. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that. There's certain things you don't do. Wait a minute. Sparky says intellectual people are fooled because they are too willing to accept a basic premise or narrative as handed to them rather than questioning it. Thank you, Sparky. It's some do. Some anti-intellectual people do that. I don't really know who the intellectuals are. I don't know. Being unbiased, and thank you, by the way, for Sparky. Thank you. Being unbiased is a very difficult thing. Are you unbiased? Who can say they're unbiased? When it comes to the law, I don't care what it is. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I don't care. When everybody was going crazy about TikTok, got the TikTok patterns, TikTok China. I said, wait a minute, you can't do that. Wait, whoa. Freedom of speech, First Amendment. No, it's China. What about TikTok? What about Twitter? Well, what? What are you talking about? We do it here all the time. The Russian narrative, that Putin, that son of a Putin. Wait a minute. Hold it. In 1962, we almost went to war with Russia because they had missiles 90 miles off of Key West. And you're telling me you don't understand the existential threat that Kyiv poses if they go NATO? Are you really don't understand that? It doesn't matter. He's a bandit. This is who we are today. It's all emotion. The Bee Gees. It's emotion. Anyway. And I'm listening to people. And it's so boring. And I'm sorry, the legal analysis is the worst. Let me give you an example. I'm going to try my best. I think I'm doing a good job. And thank you, Sparky. I'm going to give you a very, very meager example. Years ago, there was a guy who was a young man who was charged with stealing from a store. It was a goodly amount of goods. And it was Pampers and baby formula and diapers and wipes. And are you kidding? I said, and everybody agreed, I'm not going to prosecute him with that. No way. No. He stole it. Absolutely. It's called discretion. Sparky said, people fancying themselves as intellectuals. Well, Sparky, the thing is, yes, you're right, but also there are no intellectuals anymore, and you're right, people who fancy themselves, or people who are talking. Remember, if you want to be an intellectual, have a British accent. We are so Anglophilic. Half of what Christopher Hitchens said, people thought was so brilliant because of his British accent. Charlie Cook, British accent. You see, you have a British accent, unless you sound like Dick Van Dyke in a, blimey, governor, that kind of, no, it's not going to work. But, that's why we had that phony baloney Mid-Atlantic. That, the William F. Buckley. That's all contrived. That's all nonsense. That was a Mid-Atlantic. So, but thank you, by the way, Sparky. Imagine a person has an epileptic seizure, and flail somebody. Well, you're not going to charge battery because it wasn't intentional, but even if they got into an accident or something, they say, don't you understand? This is discretion. This is not. I could. Here we go. One time there was a guy. We had somebody who had Down syndrome, who was charged with theft, some kind of theft. This was you. I think sometimes this really makes it a little bit easier than understanding espionage. Now, it's Down syndrome, and there's various degrees. There's trisomy 21, then there's mosaic, and there's all kinds of variants. But the point is that this did not lend itself to an insanity defense. They knew right from wrong. Just because this individual had Down syndrome didn't know that, you mean I got to pay for this? That's a different story. That might be, but that versus ignorance. Bottom line, we said, I'm not going to charge somebody with Down syndrome in a court. I'm not going to do this. I could. I'm not going to do this. If a kid, if an abuser, if a child who's been abused by somebody kills her assailant, you have the option of saying probation. We used to call it misdemeanor murder years ago. Remember the guy years ago? There was his son was abused, and the son's abuser was coming back on an airport. They have very little security, and you can see it on TV. He's on the phone. He was really drunk out of his mind, but aside from that, he was on the phone, and as the guy who raped his son walked by, pulls a gun out, boom, shoots him, drops the gun. Got me. They gave him probation. Why? Discretion. That's justice. That's justice. Now, the family, of course, is not going to think so. But this is when you say, I'm not going to look at the law. I'm not going to say, you did it. I look at the circumstance. I'm trying to deliver justice. And is it justice to prosecute somebody who was the leading Republican candidate against your boss and your administration in essence? Are you kidding me? No, you don't get near this. So do me a favor. I don't care if you're Victor Davis Hanson, if you're Alan Dershowitz, if you're Mario Lugatz. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter. The issue is discretion, not, well, was it technically a violation of the public records, the presidential record? Did he see it was the... Now, they're going to tell you that Trump went out of his way to say, now listen, I know this is improper, and I know what's going on. Look at this. Was it stupid? Yeah. But that's not a criterion for prosecution. The bottom line is people would have said, I am not going to get near this. I am not going to get near this. This is a banana republic. This is a hatchet job against Trump. Enough. Do you understand this? Do you understand this? Do you understand this? That's the issue. Is Trump guilty? Yes. Yes. And you can make an argument whether he could prove or whether the prosecution could prove willful violation. Could be. Was it stupid? Absolutely. Absolutely. They make it sound like Trump was some kind of a pack rat, that he had matchbooks and, personal pictures. And it's like, they say, clean out your desk. Okay. And none of it makes any sense. Now, can I tell you? Here's the way it is. Mr. President, sir, Trump loves the trappings of being the president. He loved it. He loved having Air Force One. He loved having Secret Service. He loved people. He loves saluting. He loves that. Loves it. Loves saluting the lover, which is great. Hey, what's wrong with showing a little respect? Okay? Now, and I know he was going to have his own library. Maybe at Mar-a-Lago. If he's smart, he would have done this. We're going to have the presidential library at Bedminster in, New Jersey, and I'm going to take, and I'm going to sell this to the government, for the presidential library on my property. Who knows? Whatever he would do. Okay. And in the course of this, he probably has more staff members, right? He's got a personal secretary. He's got a staff. He's got this. He has you ever notice he has one person? This poor guy who's helping him move boxes. I don't think this guy knew anything. His manservant or whatever it was. But you think somebody would say, Mr. President, before we do anything, we must advise you of something. Yes, we're going to help you with your library. But we need to have all of these documents moved someplace. And he said, Mar-a-Lago is the safest place to be because there are Secret Service agents. No, not in the bathroom. No, there's no Secret Service agent outside. No. Ford Frey says, talking about candidates, I like RFK too. However, my question is, will he take more votes away from the Dems candidate or the GOP? Oh, the Democrats. Bobby Kennedy? And thank you, by the way, for it. Yes. Oh, Bobby Kennedy. Yes. Oh, yes. Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy. Who is the Democratic nominee for the president? Oh, yeah. Democrats. He might do. You ready for this, Ford? Let me stop for a second. Imagine this scenario. This system killed my father, killed my uncle. You know who they were? The Democrats. And they never lifted a finger to find out who did it. The people who always want to find out who killed my father were the Republicans, not the Democrats. They were the ones. The most rancid, corrupt people were the Democrats. Just like Harry, Prince Harry. You know and I know Prince Harry does not buy the official story of Princess Di. You know it, I know. Anybody who knows the story has any questions about it. Anyway. Ford, is it far-fetched for somebody to say to him, you know what? My family, I never had a father. They took my father away. And I know things, and he knows things about that, like the number of bullets shot, the fact that there was close, not speckling, what's it called? Powder smatterings. No. Come on. So you know what? He's 69 years old? My family doesn't like me. This one doesn't like me. You know what? This might be a royal screw you. I'm gonna take them all out. How about that? You took my family out. You ruined it. I was a kid. That wasn't Bobby Kennedy Jr. That was my dad. And our family was so screwed up, and we've got drug abuse, and I got drug abuse, and that's all behind me now. But you took away 2 people from my family. You didn't care. And they were all Democrats. All of them. Lyndon Johnson. Lyndon Johnson was probably the worst. I know the Mac Wallace connection. I've read. And Dulles and all these Democrats. No, I know it is. So you know what? I'm going to take my revenge now. Remember like Michael Corleone when he met with Frankie Five Angels? I need your help. I want to take my revenge. I'm going to get him. I'm going to hand this over to the Republicans. I'm going to dilute their vote. They love me. Because the Republicans are the ones who love me more. And not only that, in the spirit of my father's radicalism, so to speak, in a good way, I'm going after people who have been for the longest time disenfranchised. We live in a country right now where somebody has said, we don't talk about big pharma. Excuse me? Before, the biggest one was big agri. GMOs, Monsanto, Bayer. We're not done with that. We're not done with it. We just kind of forgot it because we have the attention span of an ant and we can't keep track of 2 different things. So who doesn't think that's possible? Who doesn't think that's possible? Who doesn't think Bobby Kennedy Jr. can say, I got you. Took me a long time. How do you feel? Well, when I had to cry myself to sleep when I was a little boy and they took my father, you didn't care about me. And by the way, I want to say something about Teddy. Teddy was, from what I understand, just a low-level sot. He was really boorish with women. But let me ask you something. What do you think the chances were? Have you ever heard this one? That Mary Jo Quebecny was asleep in the back seat. He didn't know. You ever hear that story? Look into it. Look into that. Have you heard the newest ones where they're calling into question? I don't know how good this is, but Daily Mail reported. They're calling into question whether there were 2 shooters for John Kennedy. Again, this is what John Lennon. I don't know how serious this is. But there's 2 instances where if you know anything about MK Ultra, if you know anything about this, and this is when I say that most of the people who don't even know what I'm talking about say, oh, this is a conspiracy theory. And they love to say that, oh, translation, you know nothing about it, do you? Here, can I read to you? May I read to you the declassified information? Yeah. If it's a conspiracy theory, what are they declassifying? Here, read it. 2 cases, Sirhan and John Lennon. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know who's a good guy? You know who's a good guy? I respect him. I don't know him, but I respect him. Is Sean Lennon. And what he had to go through. They took his father away. Nobody cared. See, people are funny. Now you understand what happens. Why in the scene, I keep going back to The Godfather, why they wanted to kill little Vito Andolini, because he wanted to avenge his father and his mother. You always do that. You know, revenge is a dish best served cold, but you always do that. Don't think for a moment Bobby Kennedy doesn't say, you know what? I'm getting my revenge. Halogen Stone. I love this name. Thank you, Halogen. Bless your heart. That's you. This is, by the way, this is the official hand. This is a talent that I have, that I've had all my life. And pardon me, but if you want to get a different, you could see that it's a much different. This will scare people in church. Is it juvenile? Yes. Is it juvenescent? Yes. Is it sophomoric? Yes. Is it puerile? Yes. Should I be ashamed? No, because that's funny. That is funny like you can't believe. Believe me, funny. Is there a possibility that this was the only way for the Biden administration to view what documents Trump had was to pursue this case? Could Trump have had documents that could implicate someone? No. No. Because it would not have been the documents, because these were, I mean, it's a good, that's an excellent, very labyrinthine, kind of a Rube Goldberg, but no. Most of these are over with. And they can dispute them, and no. Because it's the subject matter, not the document. That's why Halogen, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And again, thank you. Do you know that when people say, we've got JFK assassination, you're not going to find anything in the documents. Really? They don't write things down. Okay, I was in the grassy knoll. Yes, Lucien Sarti. Look for him, by the way. Badge man, frangible bullet, famous assassin killed in Mexico, finding in 72. That's the guy I want to put my money on. And there's people whose there's names of folks, you know, the Corsicans and the Mars. You've never heard of these people, but the people in the know who they are. From Carlos Marcello from the group. Oh, coming through Texas. Why Texas? Coming through Mexico. Perfect. Cross the border, go in there, stay there for about 10 days, safe house, and then go right out through Mexico, back. That's it. Anyway, Sparky says, Ted had best common touch of the Kennedy brothers. Sparky, and thank you, Sparky. Do you know that Richard Nixon said that Ted Kennedy was the best natural politician there was? Ted Kennedy. Ted, see, I feel you're gonna hate me for this. You're gonna hate me. Because I have this thing called empathy. Doesn't mean I want to give up everything. There's two people I feel sorry for, that I can feel there's a part of their story. Hillary and Ted Kennedy. Ted Kennedy was just the baby, and he couldn't even answer the question, why do you want to be president? Remember that one? Couldn't answer the question. That's the first question you have. Hillary Clinton was a story of somebody who was incredibly talented, very smart, and always undone by Bill, who just twice she sat out when Bill was AG of Arkansas, then governor, then president. She kept sitting up, and she wanted so much to be a part of it. She wanted to be a part of it. She wanted to. Remember, she wanted to help with the healthcare, and they laughed at her. I'm not gonna make cookies like stand by your man. Remember that? Now, if I could take that away from her, remember when she was walking around in Chappaqua? Remember that with the drinking the box wine? She was always loaded with somebody. Remember that one time? This was the funniest thing. Somebody was walking in the woods in Chappaqua up there in Westchester, and they turned the corner, and lo and behold, there she is. There she is. There's Hillary Clinton. It's like, what are you doing here? What the hell are you? What are you doing here? Dear God, what's going on here? It's Hillary Clinton. What? Then they, she wore those oven mitt things. You know who's damn smart? Chelsea Clinton. Absolutely. You know who else I kind of sort of felt sorry for a little bit? You're going to go nuts with this one. Who I never think was a bad person, did anything, deserved any of this stuff, just kind of was there. Michelle Obama. Oh my God, they gave her so much. One of the best things she ever did was try to put, or when she was going to raise, grow vegetables and stuff at the White House. I thought it was fantastic. Good for her. Oh, the meanest, nastiest stuff I've ever heard. Calling her a man and all that. I mean, now look. This goes to show you the meanness. And then there's a news story that's going around. I don't know about this. Tucker Carlson's kind of making, I don't even know what he's saying. Let me just warn you about something. Now, let me just say this to you. When you ever accuse somebody of something, make sure you're not that person or that type of person that does the same thing that you're accusing somebody else to do. If you're a teetotaler, fine. But don't ever talk about somebody's drinking habits or if somebody carouses or chases skirts if you yourself are one. Don't do this. Don't be a preacher. Remember that creepy guy, Ted? Remember that evangelical guy? And Jimmy Swag? Don't do that. And I would love to I could do a psychological portrait of Tucker. I never even met the guy. I mean, we did some TV shows years ago. But I mean, I think I've got this one. I got this one. I'm always trying to figure out. You always want to figure out, what is it? Every family, every group, everybody has a power differential. There's something about everybody. Something somewhere. Something. Everybody. Find it in yourself. Ask yourself. Understand what you're sensitive to, what you're not, what you're hiding. Always look for the opposite of what people are doing. Piety is hiding something. When people go out of their way to exude a hypermasculinity, what does that mean? Pay attention. In our society, women can get, always, and this is prior to this, women can get far closer to each other. Far closer because of something called intimacy. They can become girlfriend. Have you met my girlfriend? Oh, I love my girlfriend. Oh, you're so beautiful. Married, kids. Absolutely. You allow them so much more. Men, Maybe if men were. Men are dying to show some kind of you ever know something? I went to the car wash the other day. I got this great guy. He's the best. He's Dominican. I love him. He gives me all this stuff with he's always pointing to his heart and pointing, and he gives me this, we shake hands, he gives me the shoulder. What is this? Good guy. Great guy. Everything is from the heart. His heart. When he sees me, he's this, he's that. Okay. That's as far as some guys can go. I think a lot of men really want to say, this is my brother. This is a guy, I love this guy. I don't want to marry him. I don't have any sexual idea, but I want to be, I love this guy. Sometimes ethnicities can do it, Italians can kiss or whatever. You know what I mean? But everybody's got something that's... And when that part of you, when the identity, when the sexual identification, and when the gender part becomes in any way confused, muddled, redirected, it shows up different places. Mark my words. I know what I'm talking about. Sparky says, Hillary could have won in 2016 if her campaign was a national pub crawl. As a Midwestern girl, she was comfortable in the bar setting. Do you remember when she was in these... Remember when she was doing, she was like some steel mill bar in Scranton. She was doing shots of Jaeger with all these guys. Remember that one? She was like hardcore. And Obama couldn't even bowl. And it was really sad. Okay, whatever. He tried that. Hey, I'm going to play basketball. Don't do that. You know what I love about Trump? Trump said, I'm not going to wear a hat. I'm not going to wear a flannel T-shirt. If I have to wear a jacket to go to a hurricane site, I'll do that. I'll wear something playing golf, but it's the blue suit and the red tie, always long. You notice how his ties are longer? Very long. They extend beyond. And that's not sprezzatura. It gives a longer version to make him seem thinner. Kind of an elongated look. Hillary was trying too much. She was this, she was that. When these people were eating hot dogs, no. Remember, you probably don't know this, but Bill de Blasio was eating pizza with a knife and a fork, and they killed him, skewered him, I should say. In Italy, in Rome, and in Naples, they do it all the time. Absolutely. So he was spot on with that. So why am I talking about all this? What I'm talking about is that this is a very interesting thing. See, you see dead people. I see psychological. I see BS. My BS, I've got a version of it. And I see colors of it. Hot red, really. And I see this. I see it in the people that you look to. I see it in the people all of a sudden who say, hey, I'm a political commentator. Hey, I love this. Hey, I'm a commentator. I do a podcast, which is great. And I listen to people and I'm saying, why? This is terrific. Untold fame, millions of numbers, dumber than rocks. But you know what? That's America. What am I going to say? I think one of the worst bands ever was the Ramones. Absolutely prehistoric. But people loved them. You know what? Good for you. Good for you. Thought it was just junk. But I don't begrudge anybody. Good for you. But I know what I'm talking about. So let me see if I can repeat this. The problem I have with Trump being indicted is the fact that he shouldn't be indicted because he's the number one candidate, and you don't indict Elon Musk. Oh, that's another one. Oh, that's a work and a half. If you don't see that angle, you're not paying attention. But anyway, you don't indict somebody who is the number one candidate against the president whose administration is indicting him. And don't give me this crap about, well, Jack Smith was independent. Stop it. Stop it. If Jack Smith had said, oh, by the way, I'm going to bring a case against Hunter. No, you're not. Not on this planet. How about that big John Durham? What a load of garbage that was, huh? You believe that, didn't you? Oh, what did he do? I didn't even know what he did. The Durham Report. The what? The what? Sounds like one of these weird shows on Fox. The Kelly Report. The Federino Report. The O'Reilly Factor. The Durham Report. The Durham Findings. We've got the report. What is it? Nothing, but it's got a good name. The Report. The Durham Report. Durham enduring. The Durham also is an insanity standard, but different story. He's being railroaded. What they're doing to Trump is wrong. That's it. Everything else you want to argue, go ahead. Argue. Number one, it's wrong. Should be ashamed of ourselves. I'm ashamed of my government. We're a banana republic. With all due respect to banana republics. You got that one? And let me also tell you something. Don't just think what I said about Bobby Kennedy. Think about this. Don't put it out of your mind. Think about this. Everything comes down to your psychology, your emotion. Everything. Remember, Bill Clinton always wanted people to love him. His problem was that he never got along with women because he was always trying to seek the love and the respect of his mother. He would sometimes have to step in and protect her from drunken husbands, and it was a weird kind of Roger Clinton. Remember him? Whatever. I just got a bad feeling. Hang on. Yeah, he's 66. Roger Clinton, best. Good guy, by the way. One time he came in, it was on WABC. He came in. I liked him a lot. He got very emotional at one point. But that guy's just... Remember Hugh Rodham? Did he die? I don't even know anymore. This is Hillary's brother. Remember him? Big, heavy guy? Hugh Rodham. Oh, that's the father. No, that's not what I want. Tony? No, was it Tony Rodham? Maybe Tony. Oh, Tony died 2019. Okay. Hugh Rodham was a father. Remember Webb Hubble? Remember Webb? See what I'm doing? It's called researching. Webb Hubble is 75 years old. And Webb Hubble, I'm just saying something. And I have no any beliefs or, by the way, we need the likes, please. But people said before, boy, he sure looks like Chelsea Clinton. And you know what? That mouth, because she's had a lot of work done. Bless her heart. But I mean, that Webb Hubble. Webb Hubble looks like, imagine doing a Play-Doh sculpture of somebody and then saying, okay, that looks nice. And then doing this, just squashing it. I mean, you could put like M&Ms in there. It's very, very unique. A very unique oral structure. That's all I'm saying. When was the last time you heard that? All right, dear friends. That's enough. Please follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warrior. Sparky, thank you so much for your inimitable kindness. Halogen Stone, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Ford Frey, thank you. Reminds me of Ford Frey sounds like Ford Fairlane. True story, true story, true story, true story. Listen to me, true story. This is a terrible story, but it happened. There was a case one time, true story. Again, I got to keep saying this. This is not funny, but there was a woman who was, it was some assault case, sexual assault or something terrible. And they asked her whether the man who did whatever, did he have a climax? And it was kind of relevant. This is before serology or whatever. Anyway, did the man who did this, did he have a climax? And she said, and it was in the document, people swear, I mean, I was not there, but everybody always referred to it and had alleged documentation. But the story goes, when asked, did the man have a climax? She said, no, he had a Ford Fairlane. Upon which the judge immediately suspended all activities, recessed, everybody said, everybody go outside. Out of fear, somebody would laugh out of just nervousness. Another classic one, never, ever, ever, ever use words with a witness that they may not know. And they asked a woman, it was an aggravated battery stabbing case, ma'am, were you stabbed in the fracas? She says, no. I was stabbed between the belly button and the fracas. All right, dear friends, Lynn's Warriors on YouTube, Lynn's Warriors on Twitter, Lionel Media on Twitter. Have a great day. See you tonight at 7 p.m., my friends. Until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you.